welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be part 2 of Ronnie Watts' phone interview with a woman named Kim. She has a YouTube channel called Chris Watts Revelations, and she's in contact with the Watts family and also with Chris. She did a part 1 and a part 2 phone interview with Ronnie, and I'm going to have that link in the description box. I'll have also part 1 of my video linked in the description box. And if you haven't seen that one, make sure you check it out. But with that being said, let's get started. So Kim starts this off by asking Ronnie if he received anything from the house that was Chris or the girls, any of their property. And he said no, he never got anything of Bella's or Cece's. And then as for Chris, he said he met up with Frank in North Carolina, and Frank did take him some of Chris's jerseys. I'm not sure why Ronnie didn't get anything of Bella's or Cece's. He didn't say why he did or he didn't. Then Ronnie says that he tried getting Chris's personal belongings from the DA, but they wouldn't release his cell phone. And they did send him his wallet, and he has been asking for the cell phone, but they won't release it. And then the DA told him because they seen on People magazine that Chris was gonna appeal his case, so they're not returning the phone now. So I thought that was kind of odd that, one, the DA is looking for information through People magazine, and two, for a lot of you that will say, well, it has evidence on it, they're not going to return it. If you guys think about it, law enforcement already wiped his phone for any evidence that was on there. That's put away. So there's really no need for them to continue holding on to the cell phone. Then Kim asks Ronnie about the night of the sentencing and what happened. And I'm going to go ahead and play that part of Ronnie's interview.
Another thing, the night before the sentencing, we actually got to see the assistant DA. We didn't get to see the assistant DA. So we went over to see him that night with the so-called victim's advocate person, and talked to him, and we went in there, sat down with him, and we was talking, and I asked him, what evidence do you have? And he said, well, we have a theory. And I said, well, what evidence do you have? And he kept saying, we got a theory. He would never tell me what evidence. He never showed us any evidence. He never said he had any evidence. He said, we have a theory.
What did you think of that when he said that to you?
Well, it was the same song and dance he did in this interview after sentencing. He never would say what he showed us because he didn't show us anything at all.
Yeah, that is crazy. So Jean Powers, you mentioned her, the victim's advocate. Well, first of all, you guys weren't recognized as victims from the very beginning, were you?
No, not till right before the sentencing. We was at the hotel with her right before we went over. Me and Cindy both wrote out what we was going to say. We asked her what she was going to say. She said she was going to wing it. And we had no idea what she was going to say when she got up there, and we was just shocked as everybody else was what she said, because we did not agree with anything she said.
I remember that, calling Cindy and you guys right after saying, what's going on? And Cindy had no idea what I was talking about because she didn't even hear. She said you guys were so nervous.
So I think that part is very interesting, how Kim says after the sentencing that she talks to Cindy and says what was going on because of what the victim's advocate had said, and Cindy said she pretty much zoned out. And I'm taking it as Cindy and Ronnie didn't see anything wrong with it at the time, and I feel like it was Kim who seen something wrong with it, and she went and intervened and told the Watts family, okay, what was she saying? Did you realize what she said? And then Cindy, of course, letting Kim manipulate her. Then Kim asks Ronnie, how was it seeing Chris in the courtroom that day? How was that for you? How did you feel? And I'm going to play that part because Ronnie does explain what it's like these past 2 years and how he feels towards his son.
Well, that was only the second time we've seen him, and from the time it happened till the sentencing. And it was hard, very hard for us, but, we still love our son no matter what. And it's very hard to go through, losing the grandchildren and everything, and it's been real hard on us the last 2 years. But we was there for him, because the whole world is against him right now, so I guess we're the only ones he's got left.
Yeah.
Then Ronnie goes on to explain that he does talk to Chris almost every single night, unless they're on lockdown, which they have been off and on due to COVID. And I just thought when I heard that part, wow, how nice it is that you're able to talk to your son almost every night, while the Ruseks haven't been able to talk to their daughter, or hug her, kiss her for 2 years. And she asks Ronnie, did you guys ever speak with Chris about the plea deal? And did you guys agree to the plea deal? And Ronnie said no, never. They weren't able to talk to Chris about the plea deal at all. And the night of the sentencing, when they did speak with Chris, they were told not to bring up the plea deal or that conversation would be shut down. They can talk small talk all they want, but I took it as don't bring up anything related to the case or they will be taken out of that room and not being able to talk to Chris.
In the case, and one time Cindy did ask him, Chris, if you did not do this, please plead guilty or accept the plea deal. And he turned and looked at his attorneys. We had some attorneys behind us, and he had no attorneys with him. He turned out and looked at them, turned back, looked at Cindy, and said, Mom, I made my decision. He didn't say I did it. He said, Mom, I made my decision. So they kept telling him it didn't matter if it's 1 or 3, he was still going to get life in prison. And all they was trying to do right then was save his life.
She asks Ronnie, were you ever worried about the death penalty? And he says no, they were never worried about it because when's the last time anybody in Colorado has been put to death? This next part might be upsetting for some people. I know when I listened to it, I was like, holy, she just asked that question, and did Ronnie just say what he did? So Kim tells Ronnie, so there's been a lot of questions when it comes to the DNA of the baby. And have you ever requested the DNA, and have you received the DNA? And Ronnie says no, that he has never received the results, and that he had reached out to get them. And he called and spoke with the DA and asked him for the results, but he never got them, at least where he was able to see the results. And he asked the DA on the phone, so who's the father of the baby? And all the DA said was, it's Chris. Then Ronnie drops a bomb after that, and he gives a name, you guys, of a person that I guess him and the Watts family, and I guess Chris and who knows who else, thinks might have been the baby's father. I think that's ridiculous to even drop a name like that without any factual proof. There's no proof Shanann cheated on Chris. This guy he dropped the name of, he's married himself, you guys. He has kids. Imagine if you were the wife and it gets back to you that the Watts family and Chris thinks that your husband might have been the baby's dad. Even if you trust your husband, you trusted Shanann, just to have that out there, you guys, I would be looking at my man like, like, what the heck is going on here? Like, that's just not right. And I honestly think that part was very tasteless on Kim's part. She could have left that out. But she asked that question because she knew what she was doing. She knew what Ronnie was going to say. And I think what she's trying to do is she's trying her hardest to get people to look at Shanann in a bad way. Why? Because then she's going to give you doubt if Chris did it or Shanann did it. Kim then brings up the Wisconsin interview where law enforcement went to go visit Chris in February of 2019. And she asked Ronnie if he knew about that beforehand. And obviously Chris didn't know. Ronnie said no, he never knew about that visit was going to happen, and he said that he doesn't know why they actually went out there. He doesn't know if they went out there to get more information possibly for Chris, or were they just trying to get information for the other family, which is Shanann's family, and that Chris didn't know he was being recorded, and how they released that audio and Chris's photo to the media. Oh, boo-hoo, Chris. And then Ronnie says that Chris told them the story he did because he had to tell them something. And then Kim says, yeah, because Chris isn't the type of person to tell them to get lost. He's not confrontational. And I just thought that was ridiculous what they said, because Law enforcement goes visits Chris in prison, and instead of just sticking to his original statement he said, he goes into a whole new story confession where the girls died twice and how he shoved them in the oil tank because he doesn't like confrontation and he had to tell them something. I'm not buying that at all. And then Kim brings up that there's been lots of things Chris has said, so multiple stories he's put out there. And then she asks Ronnie, I thought was a good question. She asks him, what do you think happened? And I'm going to go ahead and play what Ronnie said.
Story that you believe, is the truth.
Well, the hurt and the pain I seen in that boy's face that day, I believe what he told me sitting there. And he's just like, as far as emotions, he's just like me. When he told me, he said, Dad, I cannot put them with her after what she did. And turned around after that said she was evil. And I believe him.
What do you think about him now wanting to do a 35C? Like, what has the last 2 years been like for you, your family, for Chris, and then obviously him getting to the 35, wanting to do a 35C? What has that been like for you, and how do you feel about this stuff going forward?
It's going to be a long, hard road, but I think if we can find the right person to defend him, or a lawyer, or whatever, and actually dive deep into the case and see if they do have any evidence, which actually they told me they had a theory. They never told me they had any evidence at all. If there was any evidence there, it's long gone by now because everybody and their brother's been in that house.
Right.
Then Kim asks Ronnie, how has Chris changed within these past 2 years? Has he changed, and why didn't he fight the way he is now in the beginning? And Ronnie says that in the beginning he thinks Chris was just shocked, stressed, and that everybody was hurting, and that Chris is still hurting every day, and that the family's still hurting every day. She also asked about how the Watts family have a memorial, I'm guessing where they live at the house, and he says yes, he looks at it every single day. I believe he said there's flowers right there. And then she asks Ronnie, what does he think about the channel? And he says that she's the first person to actually look at the facts, and other people on YouTube, I'm guessing, just like to talk and not look at the facts, is what I took it that Ronnie was saying. And that she's pretty much the first one who's took the time to look at all the facts and stuff. And that's how she ends that video. So that was part 2 of Ronnie's phone interview. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Make sure you guys like this video and share it. It's just a free way to show your love for my channel, and it does help my channel grow. So with that being said, I hope you guys all have an amazing night, and as always, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.